NTA International News.
President Buhari assents to Statutory Appropriation Act of the FCT of 2016. Nigeria signs an addendum to 2005 MOU on immigration returns with the United Kingdom. Plus, Acting Inspector General of Police charges Assistant Inspector Generals and Commissioners of Police on high sense of commitment guided by respect for human rights. Hello there and a warm welcome. This is NTA International News. Glad to have you join us. With me, Justin Bem-Unyi. The Statutory Appropriation Act of the Federal Capital Territory of 2016, passed by the National Assembly, has been assented to by President Muhammadu Buhari. Senior Special Assistant to the President on National Assembly Matters, Senator Ita Enang, disclosed this to National Assembly correspondent in Abuja. Kenneth Nanim reports.
And what it seeks to do is to grow the contribution of mining to the GDP on the back of the President's vision to diversify our revenue streams in the country, stressing the place of agriculture and mining in that. Every state has something to offer in mining, but it's been done largely on a small and artisanal scale. So we want to really upscale that by improving the skill of the people, making access to finance available and access to technology available to them.
A new SDGs homegrown communication strategy will soon evolve. Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, made this known at a national stakeholders retreat on the implementation of the Sustainable Development Goals SDGs in Abuja. Correspondent Claire Adelabu Abdurazak has the details.
The Sustainable Development Goals seek to address issues encapsulated in the 17 goals, 162 targets, and over 500 indicators. At a glance, the framework appears ambitious. In practice, however, the ultimate goals are quality education, good health and well-being, zero hunger, and low poverty rate. At a national stakeholders retreat on the implementation of the SDGs in Abuja, Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, observed that in terms of performance, Nigeria trails behind some African countries which are far less resource endowed. Lai Mohammed said while government has started prioritizing and mainstreaming the SDGs into the National Development Plan, the Ministry of Information and Culture is evolving a new communication strategy to engender active participation of the ordinary Nigerians.
This SDGs communication mechanism will engender stakeholder engagement and participation, focusing on both short and long-term goals and objectives.
The minister said the new strategy will entail deployment of communication methods indigenous to the people, such as use of district heads and town hall meetings.
The success largely of our fight against polio was achieved through using not just using the traditional rulers, but getting their buy-in. So in this business, in this business of SDGs, you need everybody. Like you can see, it's multi-level. So also it will be the communication strategy.
Other participants at the retreat stressed the need for actionable data and support of policymakers at all tiers of government to drive the success of the SDGs. In Abuja, Claire Adelabu Abdurazak, NTA News.
And back to our initial story, the Statutory Appropriation Act of the Federal Capital Territory of 2016, passed by the National Assembly, has been assented to by President Muhammadu Buhari. Senior Special Assistant to the President on National Assembly Matters, Senator Ita Enang, disclosed this to National Assembly correspondent in Abuja. Kenneth Nanim reports.
Which President Buhari also presented to the National Assembly in line with the provisions of the Fiscal Responsibility Act of 2007.
It has become law, legally in operation, and the effects are being seen. It will generate employment, activism in the economy, and you'll see a lot of capital projects which under the law you cannot go on to a certain extent unless and until as approved by the National Assembly and assented to by Mr. President.
He also expressed the confidence that the approval of the budget of these government agencies will allow the National Assembly monitor the remittance of the 80% operational surplus to the Federation's account and the evaluation of the 20% expenditure by these agencies. This, he said, will enhance transparency in the non-oil sector. Kenneth Nanim, NTA News.
The Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation has commended the support shown by some youths under the aegis of the Coalition Against Terrorism and Extremism, CATI, for the efforts of the present administration and the armed forces in the fight against insurgency. This was when the group held a solidarity rally in Abuja. Dennis Adeguloye reports.
Leave us alone! We are serious! Our enemy, leave us alone! We are serious! Leave us alone! We are serious!
Although the country is going through challenging times economically, one thing that is not in doubt is the near fulfillment of the Buhari administration's promise to defeat insurgency. And this pro-Buhari group assembled outside the office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation to voice its solidarity with the present administration in the face of great difficulty.
We can no longer fold our hands and allow some element to run down this government and to run down the peace that we are enjoying now in this country.
The Senior Special Assistant to the President on Policy Development, Ibrahim Hassan, received the group on behalf of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation.
Thank you for taking a bold step towards appreciating what our President have promised during the campaign and which you have testified he have delivered on that promise on insecurity in this country.
The group urged President Muhammadu Buhari not to relent and ensure that terrorism does not resurface elsewhere. In Abuja, Dennis Adegunloye, NTA News.
The United Kingdom has reaffirmed its commitment to stand by the Nigerian government in its fight against organized crimes, human trafficking and other challenges in the fight against corruption and Boko Haram. This was at the signing of an addendum to the 2005 Memorandum of Understanding on Immigration Returns between the Nigerian government and the United Kingdom. Ifeanyi Ezumba reports.
In 2005, Nigerian government met and hashed out a bilateral agreement on the return of illegal immigrants as well as for legal migrants who have overstayed their visas. The MOU covers a wide range of issues while keeping in mind the need of migrant rights.
British people know that the vast majority of Nigerians who apply for visas and who travel to the UK are legitimate travellers, and the UK welcomes them. Nonetheless, you will be aware immigration and migration issues are of utmost importance to the Prime Minister and the British people. We are committed to offering all of our customers, including those in Nigeria, a first-rate visit visa service.
The Minister of Interior, Abdul Rahman Dambazau, said the process of the MOU captures the input of officials from both government in guaranteeing the safety of the rights and dignity of the immigrants.
Under this agreement, the United Kingdom has built a modern immigration processing center in Lagos, amongst other areas of collaboration with our services. Since the period of signing the original MOU in 2005, there have emerged new challenges that can only be met by reviewing the agreement.
The addendum signed by the Minister of Interior and the Minister of State for Immigration, United Kingdom, will adequately address the concerns of Nigerian government regarding the true nationality of migrants. In Abuja, Ifani Esumba, NT News.
And meanwhile, the Nigeria Immigration Service scheduled rescreening of the dispersed 2,000 officers and men who were illegally recruited into the service in 2015 has commenced. And here is a report on an update of the exercise. This is the screening center at the Nigeria Immigration Service headquarters in Abuja, where all the shortlisted candidates from across the Federation are gathered to pass through the service clearance system for recruitment.
The screening went through as assumed. It was successful.
The process is good and is fair. There's no partiality.
The screening exercise, which the candidates described to have been a hitch-free and a smooth process, involved certificates and documents verification, age and rank policy compliance, medical, as well as security checks.
It is already 3 days into the exercise, with about 400 candidates successfully screened through the clearance system. After a close monitoring and assessment of the process, the Comptroller General of the Service and other representatives of the board confirmed there has been full compliance from the applicants. It is expected that after the completion of the exercise, results will be made public and successful candidates issued with letters of appointment into the service.
Due process will be followed. There will be no sacred cow. There will be no favoritism. You don't need to be the son of anybody to get anything. You just need to do the right thing. You will see the right result. And that's what we're doing. Nigerians should trust us. We'll do the right job.
The process is scheduled to end next week, Tuesday, when all the expected 2,000 shortlisted candidates have been screened.
The Inspector General of Police, Ibrahim Idris, has challenged Commissioners of Police and Assistant Inspector Generals of Police to discharge their duties and responsibilities with a sense of commitment and guided by respect of human rights to mitigate accusations against the agency. He said this at a conference to discuss topical security challenges in the country. Joseph Johnson reports.
The Inspector General of Police Ibrahim Idris addressed a wide range of issues relating to safety of electoral materials and officials in commands where rerun elections will take place, cases of kidnapping along Abuja-Kaduna Expressway, Kogi, Benue and other states, assets declaration and discipline in the force. He directed them to deploy competent hands to man the divisions.
I want to obviously advise our colleagues, that's the CPs and AIGs. You set up monitoring teams to ensure that we don't have roadblocks under any guise again. We are having complaints in some of the southeast states that the roadblock seems to be coming back. Please, I want us to ensure that roadblocks are banned.
Meanwhile, with respect to staff welfare, 117 welfare checks are expected to be distributed to the next of kings or fallen heroes of the force, as about 10 of them were presented with same, ranging from 500,000 naira to 3 million naira.
The IGP identified equipment and resources as a challenge in virtually all formations, but assured that he is working to create a strategic and beneficial partnerships with both local and international donor agencies to deliver capacity development programs targeting police officers of all ranks. From the police force headquarters, I'm Joseph Johnson, NTN News.
Now, since national security occupies a prime place on the country's agenda, there is need to communicate and engage citizens on the importance of participatory peace-building process. This was a thrust at the 3rd Annual Conference of Association of Communication Scholars and Professionals of Nigeria in Abuja, Olayinka Ojo reports.
Tackling the challenges of insecurity has been an issue of global concern, with Nigeria having its own share at various degrees with its attendant consequences.
Positive public opinion is crucial to the formulation and success of national security.
With the theme, Strategic Communication, National Security and Peace Building in Nigeria, President of the Association, Professor Lai Osho, said the conference seeks to make communication a major component of government policy.
Intelligence comes from the local people themselves. So if you don't communicate the essence of security to the people, they don't really feel to be part of it.
What we mediate will definitely impact on issues relating to security, issues relating to conflict.
Speakers at the conference noted that national security in this digital age must be well managed to ensure the unity of the country rather than on issues that divide.
Wars are not won on the battlefield. They still have to go to the conference table.
Strategic communication entails conveying the best message through direct channels.
You need to have security for you to even advance your economic interest.
With a communique that will serve as a tool for guaranteeing strategic national security and peace building in Nigeria expected at the end of the conference, a book taking stock, Nigerian Media and National Challenges, edited by Oluyinka Eson, was unveiled. In Abuja, Olayinka Ojo, NTA News.
This is the news on NTA International, reaching you from Abuja, Nigeria's capital. Stay on for more news after this time.
Information is power. Everyone wants power. So feel powerful with the NTA News mobile app, the one-stop information center. Real news at your fingertip. Be the first to report by uploading first-hand information on the YouReport link, and be the first to know by simply clicking on any of the links on the sidebar for headlines, domestic and foreign news, economy, security, politics, sports, and more. Stream live on your smartphone and tablets and stay connected. It's pretty easy. Simply download NTA News app from your Google Play Store and you're good to go. NTA News mobile app, your access to real-time information.
NTA International News. Africa as it is.
Thanks for being there. Nigeria will witness 2016 annular eclipse on Thursday, 1st of September. The astronomical activity, according to experts, begins at 7:13 a.m. Science correspondent Kirian Umayo reports.
For centuries, solar eclipses have captured the imagination of people and cultures around the world, and 2016 September 1st eclipse is yet another astronomical event to be witnessed by Nigerians. Professor Babatunde Rabiu is the director of Center for Atmospheric Research.
The eclipse is a natural phenomenon that is actually due to the relative movement of the planetary bodies about the sun. Some planets have some moons around them, like the Earth has a moon around it moving in orbit. The Earth also as a planet moves around the sun. At times, the part of the moon crosses between the sun and the Earth.
When eclipse happens worldwide, it usually starts at one location and ends at another.
This eclipse is going to start somewhere off the west coast of Africa, and it's going to pass actually through the Atlantic Ocean down to the eastern part of Africa, and it will get to the climax somewhere around the Lake Tanganyika in South Africa. I mean in East Africa, and it's going to be an annular ellipse which will form like a ring at the maximum point.
This is the astronomical event that will be visible in Nigeria tomorrow between 7:13 and 10:06 a.m. maximum point when 3/4 of the moon will cover the face of the sun will be visible at 8 a.m. The entire episode will end within 3 hours. Now, to catch a glimpse of the eclipse, experts advise the use of eclipse eye glasses and preferably a pair of slippers. Kirian Umayo, NTA News.
And away from science matters, youths have been advised to take advantage of the holidays period to redirect their energies and activities that will be beneficial to themselves and the country as a whole. The National Coordinator Digitest IT-Preneurship, Ibukun Odoshote, gave the advice at the end of Digitest 2016 camp in Abuja. Basi Itaipa reports.
Digitest, which started 15 years ago, the organizers believe has become a life laboratory for young minds to be equipped with ICT skills to become assets in driving the social and economic activities of the country.
We want them to be entrepreneurs, people that will be able to generate revenue for themselves and for their families.
Aside bridging the global digital divide, Digitest also aims to foster unity amongst tribes and religions.
I must say that the ICT is one area where our government and our people can take advantage. You see, information technology is open to everyone.
Anything can become a business idea. Back then, nobody could have imagined that I could be standing here talking to someone on the other side of the world.
Main framework of the camp include to design and develop mobile applications using just-in-mind prototyping tools, ionic framework, sports, and cultural dances. 160 students from the 36 states of the Federation and the FCT attended the 2016 Digitest camp. Basi Taipa, NTA News.
For the latest news on Nigeria's economy and the oil market, let's join Adeago on Business News.
Welcome to Business News. Nigeria records minus 2.06% real gross domestic product growth in second quarter 2016. This confirms the economy is officially in recession. The estimate released by National Bureau of Statistics indicates that the figure is the biggest since minus 7.59% recorded in the first quarter of 2004. A breakdown of the GDP figure shows that the oil sector recorded a negative growth of 17.48%, while the output from the non-oil receipts declined by 0.38%. The biggest components of the GDP shows that agriculture grew by 4.5% year-on-year, while trade and services contracted. The oil sector marks its third straight negative growth since fourth quarter 2015, and the non-oil sector marks its first recession since 2004. Meanwhile, Consumer Price Index CPI, which measures inflation, increased by 17.1% year-on-year, 0.6 percentage points higher from the rate recorded in June of 16.5%. That does it on business segment. Stay tuned for the rest of the news. I am Ede Ago.
Brazil's Senate has voted to remove President Dilma Rousseff from office for allegedly manipulating the budget. 61 senators voted in favor of her impeachment and 20 against, meeting the two-thirds majority needed to remove her from the presidency. Ilyasu Ali Yakubu has other stories from other parts of the globe.
Millennium Development Goals (MDGs) came and passed, with only a few African countries meeting the water and sanitation related goal, so it was time for the ministers in charge to give accounts of progress where it is being made and why not in the other parts.
What we've been doing in the last
90 Sudanese. 10 smugglers were also arrested after clashing with security forces near the border. Thousands of migrants from sub-Saharan Africa try to reach Libya daily, from where they embark en masse for Europe on flimsy and overcrowded boats. And Africa's rare forest elephant could play a key role in replenishing the Central African rainforest will need almost a century to recover from an onslaught by ivory poachers because of their low births. The story by the New York-based Wildlife Conservation Society is the first analysis of the demography of an elusive animal that is hard to track because of remote wooded surrounds. Much more is at stake than the fate one animal's population. Forest elephants are regarded by biologists as a keystone species, playing a crucial role in the robustness of Central Africa's wooded ecosystem. Plant species depend on elephants to disperse their seeds in the excrement. And for stories outside the shores of Africa indicate that 16 people have been injured after turbulence prompted a transatlantic flight to make an emergency landing in the Republic of Ireland. 14 passengers and 2 crew members were taken to hospital from Shannon Airport soon after the crisis. The emergency landing in the County Clare followed severe and unexpected turbulence. The United Airlines flight was traveling from Houston, Texas to London Heathrow when it diverted. Ilyasu Aliakubu, NTA News.
And to sports now, Super Eagles Uyo camp bubbles ahead of Saturday.